Table manners vary. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So says the old proverb. It rings especially true when it comes to dining in a foreign country. Table manners vary from place to place. What is proper in one culture may not be approved of in another. Sometimes it is possible to insult people without intending to. Here are some interesting dining customs around the world. France. Diners in France never rest their hands in their laps, but instead place their wrists on the table. They may have started doing that hundreds of years ago to show that they weren't hiding any weapons. In addition, they don't eat bread as an appetizer. Instead, they eat it as an accompaniment to their food or, especially, to the cheese course at the end of the meal. Nevertheless, one thing that would be bad manners anywhere else is perfectly acceptable in France. You may place bread not on your plate, but on the table. In fact, it's preferred. Japan. In Japan, slurping noodles shows appreciation for a meal. The host takes all the noise as a compliment. Placing chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice at the end of a meal is disliked, for that's how food is offered to the spirits of dead people at ceremonies held for them. Therefore, chopsticks should be placed on a plate or chopstick rest. The Japanese don't use a spoon to sip soup and other liquid dishes. They simply pick up the bowl, put it to their mouths, and sip. It is fine for them to use chopsticks to put food into their mouths while sipping soup. Thailand. When Thais eat meals, the spoon is the most common utensil used. Thais put plates of food in the middle of the table. Each plate has a spoon in it. The diners use the spoon to take a few spoonfuls from a dish and to put the food onto their own plates. In most cases, the spoon is the only utensil Thais have. In other cases, each person might have a spoon and a fork. However, Thais don't use forks to put food into their mouths. Instead, they do so with their spoons. They simply use their forks to place food onto their spoons. Thais even use spoons to cut their food, so they rarely have knives at their dinner tables. They use chopsticks to eat noodles, though, but if there are no chopsticks, they just eat noodles with spoons. Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, people eat food on a common plate and they are expected to eat with their right hand. The people of Ethiopia have a tradition called gursha, which involves feeding one another by hand. It is a common custom to feed others in the group with one's right hand by putting the rolled injera or a spoonful of other dishes into another person's mouth. The larger the gursha, the stronger the friendship or bond. It's a gesture of hospitality that builds trust and social bonds between those sharing the food. This feeling is expressed by a proverb people in Ethiopia say, "Those who eat from the same plate will not betray one another." Learning restaurant etiquette around the world is not only interesting, but it can also prevent diners from offending their hosts and fellow diners. To avoid too many surprises, it's helpful to take some time to review the common dining etiquette rules at your destination. When in doubt, take a look around you and watch what other people are doing. However, don't be afraid of making a mistake. Just be modest and respectful when you do something wrong.